Hello, hello, beloveds, and happy Tuesday. It's a new day, it's a new dawn, it's a new world out there. And I just wanted to pop in and share a little bit of insight and inspiration with you. I just had the biggest realization over the last couple of days. And this is so heartfelt that I had to just bring it out because it actually kind of blew my mind. And so let me just get to it. I have realized I am 48 years old. I'll be 49 next month. I have realized through grade school, hey beloved, thank you so much, Natural Shine. I see you. Grade school, junior high, high school, college, master's degree, all of my spiritual classes, except for Reverend Michael Bernard Beckwith of Agape, every single one of my teachers have been white. I had to take a pause and truly, go back through all of my education and realize that that was the truth. And when I came to that realization, I had to stop and truly pause because I said, wait a minute, if that's the truth, what have I been learning? Because if they have been my teachers through all of my upbringing, what have I learned? What have I learned about myself, about my people, about my ancestors, about my lineage, about my hair, about my skin? I have learned truly to not like myself. And over these last, I want to say 5 or 6 years actually for sure the last 5 years since I stopped drinking, it'll be 5 years, August 22nd. I moved out of the United States. I realized, hey, liberated psychologist, I realized that the damage that was done, that was so harmful. Every single one of my teachers, probably from the age of 5 through today, have been white teachers. All of my spiritual teachers have been white up until this point. And so I say no more. It never occurred to me the damage that I was doing to myself. You know, I grew up, I used the library as my escape. I used the library as my escape because my childhood was tumultuous and I was already filled with trauma by the time I was 6 years old, filled with trauma, all kinds of trauma. And that's not what this conversation is about. And so the library, once I found out how and learned how to read, became the place, my refuge, my solace. And so I was reading novels when I was 8 years old. I was reading anything and everything. I remember going through the card catalog and just being, oh my God, there's books about that. There's books about that. There's books about that. So I loved words, and I still do. And that's because I became a librarian because of my love of words and books. And it never occurred to me that even the books that I read were all by white authors. And so when we as people, as a culture, as Black lives, I want you to know the extent to which that goes to. You know, my husband is Mexican. He lives here in Mexico. He's never been outside of Mexico. And he's told me the only white teachers I've had have been his English teachers. And so imagine the difference that he feels as a Mexican man learning from a Mexican teacher all of his life, except for his English classes, versus my education, every spiritual class and teacher I have ever had has been a white teacher. And I've been in a year-long program. And over the weekend, I decided to withdraw because I realized this very thing, that it's time for me to have Black teachers. And so, yes, I have taken classes with Reverend Michael when I was in Chicago and he would come and visit our church. I've taken classes with him, but I've never had a Black teacher, a spiritual Black teacher. I've never had, you know what I'm saying? And so, but that stops now. That stops now. And these are the things that we have to be willing to look at ourselves, but also to bring it out into the open. And that's why I'm having this conversation with you. And so my love of words turned into my love of language. I love Italian. I love Russian. I can speak a little chut chut, privyet, как дела, yellow boot the bay. I love French, bonjour, au revoir. I mean, I have neighbors who are French and Mexican. So I love languages as well. And so that, and speaking clear English, I remember I would get teased because people would tell me I spoke white. And the thing is, if all of my teachers were white and I was learning books that only spoke about white people and had pictures and characters of white people, of course I will speak as I was taught and conditioned to. Now, I'm not dispelling that, and I'm not saying that that's wrong or right. What I am saying, I remember being teased by my brown and black brothers and sisters that I talked white. And now I realize this is what they were seeing, is that I was being taught. We lived in Kenosha. I grew up, I went to junior high and high school in Kenosha, Wisconsin in the 80s. I also graduated from University of Wisconsin. So again, all of my formative years were in all white environments. And when I was doing my Cuckoo Off Fitness this morning, so if you haven't heard of Cuckoo Off Fitness, it's African dance workout. So please look them up. And this afternoon, I'm going to do my Girl Trek Black History Boot Camp. So go there to Cuckoo Off Fitness and Girl Trek for Black women. And, that feels so good. But at the same time, it's the first time I'm doing anything like this because it's the first time that I found it. And then Friday, I have a belly dancing class with a black belly dancing teacher. And so I'm investing in my own dismantling as a black woman. And that feels so good. It feels so good to my soul. It feels so good to my spirit and truth. And so I didn't plan on getting emotional, but yeah, my feelings are that it is my decision to learn more about who I am and what I am because I was conditioned and programmed to only follow a certain way. I grew up in environments that I was treated as the other, and so I learned to assimilate. And that ends now. That ends now. And so I am on point and on purpose to not only elevate my consciousness, but awaken my activism, my liberation, and my leadership. And I'm telling you all of this because, thank you, I love you too so much, because I'm in the process of creating a class called Radiant Rebel. And I want to be the teacher, the black spiritual teacher for as many of my brothers and sisters of everyone. I'm not discriminating. This is open to everyone. But it's our time. I'm answering the call with courage. I'm reading the books. I'm taking the classes. I'm seeking out my spiritual teachers, coaches. I'm working with my sisters because here I am at 48 years old, almost 49. And in this conditioned society, it never even crossed my mind because we have recognized that this is the normal. And so I'm disrupting it. I'm dismantling it, and I am destructing it so I can truly rise into the spiritual leader and woman and teacher that I am as a black woman. And I am on a mission as a spiritual teacher, a psychic medium, a healer, to do the same for my brothers and sisters, my black brothers and sisters, as well as my white brothers and sisters. And so that's what Radiant Rebel is all about. It is about us answering the call. It's answering the call, because guess what? They always say what you teach, you learn. And what you learn, you teach. And so I'm inviting all of you, if there is a radiant rebel in you, I invite you to please sign up with me. We will be starting on the equinox, the summer solstice, because it is a time of change. It is a time of transformation. And I know it begins with me. Another resource, Kraal, Kraal. They just dropped a workbook that I absolutely love. It's got the 42 spiritual laws of Ma'at. It's got so much African spirituality. Go follow them. Follow Girl Trek. Follow Cuckoo Off Fitness. Follow my girl, Layla Saeed. Follow Ancestral Voices. These are the places, these are the resources that I am not only supporting, these are the ones that I'm pouring myself into so I can fill up my cup. And so I wanted to remind each of us and all of us that this is what dismantling looks like. And we have to recognize that it does start with us, and that it is totally up to us to look at how we've been programmed and conditioned to believe the opposite of ourselves. Kwame, please go back and watch the replay. And so I'm just taking a moment here to pause and pray. How grateful I am that I had the wake-up call. How grateful I am that I saw the truth about myself. How grateful I am to be of service, to shift and lift my communities, to shift and lift the community, to shift and lift the world. As I allow myself to be of service for spirit, to be of service to my brothers and sisters. And so I am just so grateful. I'm grateful to be grateful. I'm grateful for this new day, this new life, this new dawn, this new era. I am so grateful for this. And so I just bless the minds, bodies, and spirits of every man, woman, and child, every tree and every sea, every animal and every insect. I bless this world. I bless all of us and each of us. May our minds, bodies, and spirits be shifted and lifted on this day. May we absolutely know that our liberation, our leadership, our activism, and our consciousness create the life, the world, the experience that we have been calling forth. And so for this and so much more, I am grateful. I'm grateful to be grateful. And so I let it be. I let it go. And so it is. Ashe, Amen, Amin, Namaste, as above and so below. So have a beautiful day, beloveds. I send you so much love and light. And until next time, peace and blessings.